Ladies and gentlemen, our session will begin in about 5 minutes. Please take your seats. We also ask that you move in from the aisle and fill the seats in the middle of each section. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The program will begin in 1 minute.
lucky enough to know what they want to be when they grow up. But as soon as Kelly Kulick picked up a bowling ball, she knew.
I've won 6 major titles, 3 U.S. Opens. I've always seen myself winning.
And this weekend, CJ brought the tour to Colorado. Not just to compete, but to spread the word that bowling is cool.
Hi, I'm CJ Anderson, Kingpin of Denver, and welcome to my Southwest Regional Open.
The 68th Annual State Bowling Tournament is in St. Joseph. It starts tomorrow.
Local bowlers are hoping to strike it big as St. Joseph plays host to the 2017 Missouri Open Bowling Championships.
And this is the first year that you guys have done this, so why did you decide to do this then?
Bowlers are very giving people, and we were trying to figure out a way to get the community involved a little bit.
The state champion Rio Rancho bowling team is looking to strike in Fort Lauderdale for a national title. RJ Chester has more.
The Rio Rancho Ram bowling team is headed to a national tournament in late July after a rocky road to a state title.
Being the state winner this year, which wasn't a given coming through the losers bracket, we get the chance to go and compete against all the other high schools.
This is the first year the tournament's being held, so when we heard about this, it was great to learn that we could go and compete nationally instead of just at the state level.
That's their bowling shoes in Santa Maria for the 2017 California Youth USBC District 5 Bowling Championships this weekend. Rancho Bowl hosted the competition for bowlers ages 4 to 20.
Bowling is a fun pastime for a lot of folks, but for one bowler in Belleville, well, it's more than that. It is his passion.
Peyton Mercer can bowl strike after strike after strike. You get it.
All right, so here's Bill. Check him out here. See if he gets another strike. By the way, Taylor messed him up earlier because he put the light right in Bill's eye. Hey, the light is in my eye. What are you doing? All right, so here we go. Let's see what he does. The form's just amazing.
We're watching it great here.
So let's see. Get in there.
Money, come on.
Bada boom, bada bing.
When this teacher speaks, his students pay close attention. KWQC's Fran Riley has a story from Muscatine that'll bowl you over.
Mike Berlin
This is how I get my competitive juices going.
E-band follow-through is the voice of experience.
1, 2, 3 strikes, you're not out at the bowling alley.
No, that's a good thing.
Yeah, right? It's a game a lot of us played as kids, and a lot of us, well, we still not play it for fun.
Every Saturday, you can find 15-year-old Eric Bruno and 10-year-old Dana Smith here at Capitol Lane. And they're not alone. More than 30 other kids come here regularly to hit the lane.
Well, 6 years ago, Mookie Betts was bowling in the Tennessee State High School Championships. But Friday night, he was front and center on ESPN in the Chris Paul PBA Celebrity Bowling Tournament. Betts and his team lost the championship against Chris Paul.
Okay, I just threw a ball down the lanes. I can't tell you how nervous I was because I've got like 5 to 10 professionals standing behind me. 2 of these ladies, let me tell you, you guys, they're not going to tell you, but I'm going to tell you, they're pretty amazing, okay? Let me tell you, here, the one that just threw the ball there, that is Kelly Kulick, okay? Look at that, strike. You just did that like it was so easy for you, Kelly. I mean, come on, it's your job. I love it. And then this is Shannon O'Keefe. Both of these 2 ladies, amazing, in town for this fantastic tournament. You guys have been bowling professionally for years.
We love.
All right, I'm going to go over this way. Here we go. Here we go. Stop. I didn't do as great as you did. Danielle, Kelly, thank you so much for being here and representing women. You're doing a great job. All right. All right, here we go.
That was a thunder strike.
It is the dot.
Thank you, Frank.
Thanks, Frank.
Thank you.
You nailed it too.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome USBC President Frank Wilkinson and USBC Executive Director Chad Murphy.
Good morning. Do you like me? Welcome to the final day of the USBC Annual Meeting. Today we will conduct our official business, including voting for board positions and legislation. Before we proceed, I'd like to invite one of the delegates appointed to verify the elections today to present the credential report. Please give a warm welcome to Belinda Thomas from Santa Barbara USBC.
USBC Credentials Report. Association delegates, 772. Athlete delegates, 9. Board of Directors, 19. Total voting, 800. We have 171 guests.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Belinda. She didn't get fair warning until she walked in this morning, so thank you. We didn't give her a chance to say no. But you'll see her back on stage later.
Thank you, sir. Thanks, Belinda. Obviously, this morning, every year, it's a lot of fun to celebrate our youth awards and all that goes with that. The speeches, I told my staff this morning, I know you guys are going to be working hard today. Make sure you take a break when the youth speeches come up, and we're just really looking forward to them. And so with that, as we celebrate our youth award winners, I would invite our USBC Director and Youth Committee Chair, Melissa McDaniel, and also USBC Vice President, Kathy DeSocio, to the stage.
Good morning, everyone. The best part of my volunteer job is what my friends back home call my volunteer job, is calling these young athletes and telling them that they've won these scholarships. The excitement in their voice is just so rewarding to me. So let's go ahead and get started. As we introduce our youth awards, each winner, we want to invite each of them to say a few words here with us this morning. So let's welcome our first award winner, the USBC Female Youth Ambassador of the Year, Mabel Cummins.
Good morning. It's an incredible honor to be selected as a youth ambassador for the United States Bowling Congress. I'm truly humbled to be associated with the remarkable people who've held this position in the past. While some would treat this selection only as a title, I believe it comes with great responsibility. It demands action to influence the growth of our awesome sport and inspire the youth who are its future. For many years, I've watched people who love bowling commit their time and energy to support the success of young bowlers like me. There are volunteers who run local organizations and conduct leagues and tournaments for nothing more than the joy of being involved, and proprietors who offer their facilities at discounted rates so kids of all backgrounds can participate, and coaches who spend hours on the lane after the paid lesson is ended just to make sure their students get the guidance they need to be successful. There are also professional bowlers who give back to the sport by conducting free clinics and donating equipment to local youth leagues. Some even dedicate their lives to this cause, and they make extraordinary efforts to help youth bowling thrive in their communities. An excellent example is Deandra Asbady and the Elite Youth Tour in Chicago. Hundreds of kids have benefited from the Elite Youth Tour. Not only have they learned how to be better bowlers, but they've learned life skills and how to be ambassadors for our great sport. But Deandra is only one of the many wonderful people in my area who have committed their lives to youth bowling. There's Joe Fairless, the tireless youth director for the Greater Aurora USBC, and Patty Merriman, the longtime advisor for the Illinois State Youth Leaders, which sponsors the Illinois State Scholarship Tour, and Kim Sims, the driving force behind the outstanding youth program at Fox Bowl. And finally, there are proprietors like Steve and Debbie Brzezinski of Yorkville Bowl, whose generosity fuels the growth of the next generation of bowlers. These are just a few of the many people who have positively impacted my life and the lives of countless others through their support of youth bowling. I admire them greatly and hope to be like them, and someday I may even look back and see that I've contributed in a similar way. I believe that every boy and girl deserves the opportunity to develop physically and mentally, make great friends, and have fun at the same time, just as I have through the sport of bowling. As a USBC Youth Ambassador, I will do my best to make that happen. Thank you.
Again, congratulations, Mabel. Now please welcome the USBC Male Youth Ambassador of the Year, BRILEY, HAUGH.
Good morning, everyone. Wow, I don't know how I'm going to top Mabel's speech, but I'd like to start off by congratulating all the youth winners behind stage right now. Congratulations, everyone. First off, I would like to thank the IBC Youth Department and the USBC Board for honoring me with this award. This is an incredible honor. I believe this is one of the highest honors you can get as a youth bowler. I was blessed to be born into a bowling family. With both my parents being incredible bowlers, coaches, and ambassadors to our sport. I started coaching at a very young age because I truly saw the drive to help others love the sport as much as I did. I became a bronze level coach at the age of 14 and a silver level coach at the age of 16. That was, I should thank Stephen Padilla for that. I couldn't have done that without him. I would like to take this time to thank everyone who has helped me in my bowling career and coaching career, as I have been blessed to work with some of the most amazing coaches in our industry. I couldn't be up here without you guys. There is one person I would truly like to thank for this opportunity. That is my local proprietor, Jerry Kess. Jerry Kess has donated so much time and effort in giving back free lane time to the kids and coaching to us. Unfortunately, we lost Jerry a few months back to a battle with cancer, but his legacy will not be forgotten. He was truly a giver and an ambassador to our sport. So this award is for you, Jerry. My goal for the future will be to continue to help grow our sport so everyone can love the sport as much as I do. Thank you very much.
Again, congratulations, BRILEY. Now please welcome the USBC Youth Volunteer of the Year, Leslie BOHN.
Okay. Good morning. Those were two outstanding athletes that we just had the pleasure of listening to. Congratulations. What an honor it is to be standing before all of you today. As I look out, I see so many incredible faces and friendships that I've created through the years. So I first would like to start off by thanking Melissa McDaniel for introducing me today. I must admit, when I received the phone call from Melissa back in February sharing that I had been nominated for this award, I was blown away. I could not believe it. She said that you had been nominated by a gentleman back home, not only by one, but many parents in your area. Her very next sentence, she shared that I had been selected as the Volunteer of the Year. Oh my goodness, are you serious? I simply am doing what I love, and to this day, I get to continue to give back to this great sport. As I stand here today accepting this award, yes, it is my name inscribed. However, there is certainly a team behind me that makes this all possible. I must admit, this sounds somewhat funny, as this is something my husband normally says about me, who is now sitting in the front row and not standing here on stage. I am thankful for what this sport has given to our family, and I want to do my part in giving back. We have created lifelong friendships and memories through the years, and I smile inside seeing our kids doing the very same. This award is truly an honor. A real quick story, I was sitting there on Monday packing my bags, getting ready to leave, and our daughter, who just started bowling back in August, said to me, "Hey Mom, are we going to make this trip with you?" And I said, "No, this time it's just going to be Daddy and I." And she said, "But Mom, this is really a big deal. You're being honored from all of the 50 states. We should go." So last night she called me during the Hall of Fame dinner and she said, "Mom, you know it is take your kids to work day tomorrow." I would love to start out by thanking just a few people. John Voorhees and the parents for taking the time to nominate me for this award. When I think of John and all the parents through the past years, there's two words that resonate: passion and support. Their children love this game of 10 pins and are passionate about being their best, just as much as my own kids who try to be the best they can be. This isn't possible without the endless support a parent gives their children to achieve their goals and dreams. This is what makes doing what I do even possible and make me love it more every day. I remember my sister and brother and I growing up in the state of Michigan, and our parents would take us to tournaments every weekend. It was crazy for them trying to watch all three of us, and now I'm living that dream. Thank you to the IBC Youth Committee for selecting me as this year's recipient. It was just a few years ago that we were introduced to Bowling's Youth Open. I called my sister and said, "There's a youth tournament in Detroit right before Parker and Doug bowl the US Open in Columbus. I think we should take them." She quickly said yes, and we were on our way. The dream team at that time consisted of Brandon and Justin BOHN, Natalie Kent, and Austin Shady. After we enjoyed last night's festivities, might I add that all three of these kids' fathers are some of the greatest on and off the lanes in our sport and have achieved greatness in the USBC Hall of Fame. Is it a coincidence, or do you think we have the greatest family sport out there? Thanks. Since then, our Youth Open group has grown from one team in 2013 to just 33 teams this year in Cleveland. I am honored to have these families believe in me for allowing their children to compete in such events like this. Our group has earned over 50 Eagles in all. These children do not just come from our home state of New Jersey, but from all over the country. Thank you to youth organizations, the tours. We are certainly bringing the next generation of our sport. Thank you to Neil Feingold, Charlie Anderson, the staff of HAUGH Lanes for believing in me with our leagues on Friday night. We have seen the participation grow, the time spent on the lanes practicing, and kids eager to improve their skills. This is obviously paying off with their successes and championships. Thank you to the Monmouth County USBC Association, the New Jersey State Association for listening and supporting all of my ideas. Sharon and Roger Shildroth of Michigan, you guided me here today. Gordon Vatican and WSU, you took a chance and offered me a scholarship to further my education and bowling career at Wichita State University. I'm so grateful you did, and with the support of my parents, it was one of the best decisions I made. You encouraged me to be the very best to this day, and I'm continuing to do so. Evan, thank you for flying in and making sure Justin, Brandon, and Sydney are taken care of. I'm confident you are all enjoying yourselves. Chrissy, my little sister, I'm so excited watching our kids making memories the same way you and Andy and I did growing up. Mom and Dad, I know you are watching, Mom, and Dad, you are from above. From our young days at Sturgis Bowl to the stage today, I can't thank you enough. Justin, Brandon, and Sydney, I wish you were here with me at work today, but instead you are at school. We have introduced you to so many sports through the years, and whatever you decide to embrace, you have our support. I love you have chosen this amazing sport of bowling, and yes, I love spending every weekend in a bowling center cheering you on. Parker, I know this is where everyone says this gets really tough, but you know what? it's really fun watching you sit there. So, I'm not going to get teary-eyed, but we have been through so much the last 20 years. Your love and support is endless. You throw amazing shots on TV, and we couldn't be more proud. You have continued to allow me to follow my dreams, whether it's fundraising for the youth, organizing volunteers, giving lessons to the youth, volunteering my time at school. I can't thank you enough. I love you. Our children have an amazing father, and I'm a lucky girl from a small town in Michigan who loved this game. I love the memories we are making. In closing, I would like to congratulate all the award winners here today and share this with all of you. Believe in this game and believe in yourself that you can make a difference. I certainly feel this never-ending road of growing the sport is certainly going down the correct lane. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Congratulations, Leslie. Now please welcome the Kerm-Helmer Horizon Award winner, David Yamauchi.
Wow, it's been a long, long journey to be standing here at this podium. I'd like to thank the USBC first for the incredible honor of being here today, and I'd especially like to thank my wife, Leanne, who puts up with me and gives me the opportunity to do all the things that got me here today. This award could not have happened if not for the vision of Mickey Coletti, a bowling pioneer and founder of our organization. His recognition of the talent of junior bowlers led him to start the Junior Amateur Tour, the first scratch junior bowling tour in the nation over 4 decades ago. Quite honestly, I was a little taken aback when I found out that I influenced the bowler enough in their youth that later in life they would take the time and effort to nominate me for this award. And I was even more humbled when I found out that I was chosen to receive it. When I was a junior bowler and competing in this organization, the JAT, the bowlers became my weekend family. I looked forward to getting together with my friends from all over Southern California to battle on the lanes, but more importantly, to just hang out and have a great time together. Junior bowling gave me some of the most memorable times of my life, and bowling has given me most of my closest friends. I run JAT to develop some of the greatest talent in the nation on the lanes. But the most important reason I do what I do is because I want every junior bowler in Southern California to have the chance to have the JAT experience that I did when I was a kid. To all the past JAT directors and the thousands of JAT alumni, members, and parents whom I've had the honor to meet through this great game, I hope I've accomplished my goal. And when you flash back to your days with me sitting behind the tournament desk, I hope the memories of those times bring smiles to your face. Thank you very much for this great honor.
Congratulations, David, and thank you for all that you do for the youth bowlers of California. In addition, thank you to all of our volunteers and award winners. Without you, youth bowling doesn't happen, and we can't continue to provide the opportunities for our youth bowlers on and off the lane. So again, thank you. We have one more award winner. I'm going to pass it to Melissa.
Okay.
To round out the youth awards.
All right. Now for the USBC Annual ZEB Scholarship winner, an award named in honor of our good friend and champion of youth bowling, Jim Zebahazy. Please welcome this year's award winner, Mr. Connor Jones.
morning. Good morning. How are y'all doing? All right, so I'm gonna keep it brief for this morning. Vegas. We've made it. I really am really enjoying this conference here, just being able to see representation from all 50 states here, just bowlers enthusiastic about the sport and about the future of the sport. And so, all right, I'll keep it brief. All right, first I'd like to thank USBC for this opportunity to come out here. Bowling's always been something I've really enjoyed. It's always been an outlet for me, both in enjoyment and being able to teach others through the sport. And it's really exciting to see it's brought me here to Las Vegas. So just round of applause for them, round of applause for USBC. And so bowling, what is bowling? Well, bowling's a sport, but it's also, a really good teacher of life lessons. So there's a few things I've really learned from bowling. The first one is the need to be teachable. Everybody needs either a mentor or a coach. Well, I see that through bowling. There's many life lessons I've learned through bowling, and I've learned that even if I do think I know the best strategy, the best form, there's always something better out there. There's always someone better to listen to help teach me how to be better at bowling. And like that, it's like that in life. We all need teachers, we all need mentors, we all need to learn to live better every day. The second quality I learned from bowling is persistence. We always hear that old mantra, practice makes perfect, perfect. But often we, ignore that. We often think we have it best right now, just perfected as is. But we need the persistence to keep trying to get better, keep trying to improve upon our sport. Like many goals we have, the only way to achieve those goals is by repeated effort and practice. Few things in life come easy, and we must all work hard in order to succeed. The last thing I've learned from bowling especially is the need for encouragement. And that's what I see most neglected and most needs to be worked on today. Encouragement or the effort to encourage your teammates, to encourage those around you in order to build each other up. Iron sharpens iron, steel sharpens steel. Just thank you for the opportunity to come out here. I really am just glad to have this opportunity. Thank you for the committees. Thank you for Mr. Zeb for providing the scholarship. Bowling has always been a great teacher to me, and I look forward to continuing to invest myself in the sport in the future. Thank you.
My name is Louis Doby. I am the president of the Gallatin USBC Association in Bozeman, Montana. I'm here as an association delegate. And the thing that I really love about helping out bowlers as a president is running the tournaments in particular. I run our open, women's, mixed, and youth tournaments, and it brings me a lot of joy seeing bowlers of all levels competing against each other.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the USBC Board of Directors, please welcome Joe Diamond.
Good morning. He already told you who I was, so we can skip that part. It's time to meet the National Recognition Award winners, but first I'd like to make a couple comments. This year our committee had the privilege of reviewing dozens of resumes for our awards. All of them were great people with great contributions to our sport. Some fit right into the category that they were nominated. Others didn't quite fit what we had outlined on paper. That's why there was no winner in one of our categories this year. The committee agrees, after a lengthy discussion, that we need to reevaluate our criteria, and that's something that we will move forward within the following year. We are honored to present two fantastic recipients this year. And if you've heard me speak any time before, you know that I believe that our relationship with the bowling proprietors is the utmost relationship that we always need to develop. And we have been fortunate, as long as I've been involved in the game, to have some really good ones. Now, unfortunately, one of the things on the form is not how tall they are. You'll see what I mean in a minute. But first, please welcome this year's USBC Proprietor of the Year from Houston, Texas, Mike Nelson.
Thank you for that, Joe. Wow, this is one big league meeting right here. But it's okay. Can I interest you in a certified league at Copperfield Bowl? I first want to thank the USBC for this honor. From USBC that represents the bowling nation, to win this award from an association that represents the customers, the bowling nation, it means even more to me. It's quite an honor. I'm blessed and I'm humbled. When Frank Wilkinson called me a few weeks back, I looked at the calendar. He said, "You're proprietor of the year." I said, "Who is this?" I looked at the calendar. It wasn't April Fool's. He assured me that I'm the proprietor of the year, and I'm standing here, so I guess I am. There are many people. I am tall, and I'm getting taller every year. I represent many people. I have a big contingent, and a lot of them worked hard to get me up here, and I appreciate that. I have some people to thank, so I want to do that as quickly as possible. First and foremost, I want to thank, and I didn't tell her she'd be first, but I want to thank my wife. I appreciate your love and support. In a few weeks, we will celebrate our 38th wedding anniversary. I think she deserves the award, not me. So, anyway. Also, her dad, Pete Tryby, Hall of Famer, he got me in this business years ago. First as a desk worker at a 16-lane bowling center, and then assistant manager, and then a manager. Actually, before the manager, I was a promotions league coordinator in that, so still got that in me. And then a manager, and then a general manager, and the last 5-6 years kind of been operating as the owner. He taught me the business. I'm very grateful to him and everything he did for me and showed me the business. He was kind of a quiet guy. I really didn't know whether I was pleasing him as a worker and a son-in-law. I just kept plugging on, and he would tell me, show up to work hard, treat the customers like you would want to be treated, and keep going, keep on. And so I kind of used that as I went forward in the business as my motto. So I do have a few people I want to thank besides Pete and my wife. I would like to thank his business partner, Bill Lillard. I remember a couple years ago, I went to El Paso, I watched Bill knock down the most pins in USBC Tournament Open history. And that was quite an event. He's quite a bowler. He's also a great gentleman and a great leader, and I appreciate his leadership in helping me as I went through my progress and my bowling walk, if you will. So thank you, Bill. My kids as well, Taylor, Alex, Chad, Nikki, Mitchell, Christina. I appreciate you being patient as I went through the grind, the daily grind. I also will tell you that Nikki and Chad gave me a granddaughter, Emma Grace, and she hung the moon. She really did. So glad. The Mogards, they're here today, some of them. Carrie and Bailey couldn't make it, but Sherry and Kylie are here, and I appreciate that very much. My mom and dad, of course, I wouldn't be here without them. I don't want to forget my mother-in-law. Some of you remembered my mother-in-law. She's gone now, but she was very instrumental. When Pete didn't speak, she did, and I appreciated that. The Texas Bowling Centers Association, which I just recently became a president of, has great leaders in this industry. Rick Goins, David Kellerman, Doug Davidson, Dick Atkinson, as well as our past president, our chairman of the board, Mike Logan, and his wife, Deanna, are here. They're here also to help support me. So, in addition to that, on the TVCA board is our executive director, and she sets the standard, and that's Karen Miller. So, Karen, I appreciate you too being here for this award for me. I don't want to forget my staff. I'm gone quite a bit. doing things, and I have a strong staff back at Copperfield Bowl in Houston. They keep things rolling. They pick up the pace when I'm not there. Very strong staff, and I appreciate them immensely. I don't want to forget about the Greater Houston Bowling Association. David Fields was there for the longest time, Doris Chesser. They also are part of that contingent that makes me taller and stronger, and so we appreciate the Greater Houston and especially those two individuals. And finally, the USBC Nation, you guys, the committees, the board member, everybody here, everybody that represents USBC. My message to you is the same as what Pete's had for me years ago. You show up to work, you work hard, remember the customer in everything you do. Treat them like you would want to be treated, and keep on keeping on. Again, thank you, USBC, for this award. Thank you very much.
Did he really say he keeps getting taller? Okay, we have our next recipient. And this one I'm a little closer to, not only in height, but in distance. Our Helen Baker Award, Outstanding Association Service. She's from Montpelier, Ohio, Ruth Heath Trott.
Wow, that guy was tall, wasn't he? Today is finally the day. I've been thinking that I'm going to wake up and all of this has been a dream. First of all, I want to offer my sincere congratulations to all the 2017 honorees. It's quite a privilege to take the stage with such a gifted group of individuals. I want to say thank you to Kathy Combs, my adopted daughter, who submitted my name, to the awards committee for selecting me to receive this prestigious honor, and to USBC for making available such a wonderful opportunity for members to be recognized for service to our sport. I can't begin to put into words what this wonderful honor means to me. I got to know Helen Baker when the WIBC was in Toledo in 1985, and always looked up to her for her leadership abilities and her down-to-earth personality. She took her job seriously, but she was a very warm and open person to deal with. I find it amazing to see my name in a list with some of the most accomplished people in the bowling world. It hardly seems right that I am being honored for simply doing a job that I dearly love to do. My father instilled in me the love of the sport, and I know that he's looking down today with pride. Thanks, Dad. I've always been one to want to know how something works and why it's done the way that it is. It was that inquisitive, or should I say nosy, quality that got me involved in the administrative end of the sport. There's no way any one person can accomplish great things single-handedly. It takes a dedicated effort of many to keep an association functioning. And I have been very fortunate over the years to have worked with dedicated people who have had faith in me and allowed me to make my own path in many areas. I have many people that I'd like to thank. I want to begin with my own very first local association, the Montpelier WBA, which no longer exists. That's where I got my feet wet by serving as the secretary-treasurer. And it was that group of ladies that seemed to grab onto my enthusiasm and wanted to be part of the state association. My admiration for the members of the Ohio WBA Board of Directors in the 1970s inspired me to seek a position on that board. And under the tutelage of my mentor, Ruth Smith, I was able to rise to the presidency, which I held for 15 years. Over those years, it was attending the local association functions and meeting all of the people that really made my heart sing. And I came to realize that the real reason I was so involved was for the friendship and the people. Bowlers are the very best people in the world. I retired in 2002, deciding it was time for me to move on and for new ideas in the Women's State Organization. And yeah, you guessed it, I quickly got bored. I was by then bowling in Toledo and decided I could be involved as a director and be busy, but not totally consumed as I had been before. Was I deluding myself or what? Again, the take charge bug got me, and I ran and was elected president, where I have served for the last 7 years. The Greater Toledo USBC Board has been a truly supportive group, and through all of the hard work and dedication of the board, I am deeply indebted to them for their continued support. At the same time, a position opened on the Ohio State USBC BA Board, and I decided to see how the other half of our state association operated. It's been a real learning experience for me, but I must say it has also been a very enjoyable experience. The board has accepted me, in most cases, and allowed me to serve in areas where I can help and support. I'd like to say a special thanks to Dale Goins, the current OSBA president, and to Dan Martin, the association manager, for the faith that they have had in my abilities. And I'd be remiss if I forgot to mention my family, who have excused me from so many various birthdays and family celebrations over the years, where I have worked at some bowling function or the other. And to my wonderful husband, Jerry, for all his support. He tells everyone that he's my personal valet, carrying and toting whatever is necessary wherever I go. And yeah, he really does. Jerry, I love you. Thank you, everyone, for listening.
This isn't in the script, but this is one lady that I have personal knowledge of, and without her, I wouldn't have been here today. Her mentoring has been incredible. So thank you, Ruth. Congratulations to Mike, and thank you.
My name's Ira Tate. I'm from Yorktown, Virginia. I'm the director on the association there. Been bowling my whole life. I really enjoy spending a lot of time with the community, especially with the kids, and helping grow the sport of bowling.
Thank you, Joe, and once again, congratulations to Mike and Ruth. Melissa, welcome back to the stage. Thank you, Frank. I just want to take a moment. Melissa, as you know, Melissa is the chair of the IBC Youth Committee. She came on and took on this role, and she's doing a fantastic job, and I can't commend you enough, and keep up the good work. Give this young lady a round of applause, please. She's helped build a fantastic team and a great support system that you'll hear from later on. Continuing with our awards presentations, now I'd like to welcome IBC Youth Committee members Mike Cannington and Kim Stanek-Sims for the Alberta E. Crow and Chuck Hall Star of Tomorrow Award presentations.
Oh, they do have a script out here.
Continuing with our award presentations, the Alberta E. Crow and Chuck Hall Star of Tomorrow Awards are named after two, oh my God. The pages are messed up, and here I thought I had this one nailed. Okay.
How you doing?
My bowling shoes on. Does that count for anything? Alberta Crow was the president of the Women's International Bowling Congress from 1960 to 1981. She was instrumental in the administration of the American Junior Bowling Congress.
Right, and Chuck Hall was the executive director of youth bowling from 1962 to 1985, first for the AJBC and then for the Young American Bowling Alliance. The Stars of Tomorrow Awards recognize young female and male bowlers for not only their distinguished bowling careers and achievements, but also their academic achievements, extracurricular activities, and community involvement. And let me tell you, these kids are unbelievable. In addition to the honorary titles, the Stars of Tomorrow's recipients receive a $6,000 scholarship fund.
At this time, we'd like to introduce the first of our award recipients. Natalie Koprowicz of Girard, Illinois is a senior at North Mac High School, where she ranks at the top of her class with a 4.3 grade point average on a 4-point scale. Natalie started bowling before she started kindergarten, visiting the lanes often with her dad and 3 older brothers. As her brothers joined leagues, Natalie followed along and soon developed a clear talent for the sport. She's won sectional titles at state, finished in the top 35 at the Junior Gold, and was named to the Dexter USBC All-American team. Off the lanes, Natalie is an Illinois State Scholar, president of the National Honor Society, and volunteers at the local food pantry. This fall, Natalie will continue her bowling career and her studies at St. Ambrose University, where she plans to major in nursing. Let's take a quick look at a video of our Star of Tomorrow. For all her accomplishments on and off the lanes, we honor Natalie Koprowicz as the 2017 recipient of the Alberta E. Crow Star of Tomorrow Award.
Good morning, everybody. I'm new to this public speaking thing, so bear with me. First, I would like to thank the USBC for being so welcoming and hosting such a great event. I am incredibly honored to be standing in front of you today. Words cannot begin to describe the gratefulness I have, but I will do my best. Dad, it's okay to cry. First, a short story. I began bowling when I was just a couple years old, thanks to spending many evenings in the bowling center with my parents and older brothers. My dad decided to put me in a youth league where I only bowled 2 games a week. When I was around 5 years old, it was time that I entered my first tournament, a team event. After the first 2 games, I decided to start packing up my things because I thought I was done. When my parents told me I still had 1 more game to go, I threw a tantrum. So as any good parents would do, they bribed me with a Barbie doll. Needless to say, I wiped my tears, finished the tournament, and got that Barbie doll. Since then, I have never looked back. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for making me finish that tournament. Without your support, I would not be standing on this stage today. To my big brothers, thank you for always giving me competition and teaching me to shoot for the stars. I'm happy to say I can now beat all of you. To my coaches, especially Jeff Carter, who have instilled in me everything from physical and mental game to good sportsmanship, thank you. To Bill Pickford of Showtime Lanes and the staff at Bolero Lanes, thank you for always allowing me to practice every time I needed it. Thank you to Patty Mowerman and my Illinois State Scholarship Tour family for giving me the opportunity to compete with the best, allowing me to grow as a person and an athlete. Thank you to all of the ball companies, proprietors, tournament managers, and coaches for believing in the youth and the future we represent. Each and every one of those that I have just mentioned are responsible for their own piece of my story and will continue to shape me into the best person I can be. Thanks to bowling, I have formed relationships that I truly believe I could not and would not have found anywhere else. Lastly, but certainly not least, thank you to the IBC Youth Committee for choosing me to be the 2017 Alberta E. Crow Star of Tomorrow. Once again, it is truly an honor to be recognized by such an incredible community. Thank you.
Next up is the Chuck Hall Star of Tomorrow. Congratulations, Natalie. That's really awesome. Carson Opella is a senior at the Ask Academy Charter School in Rio Rancho, New Mexico. Carson started bowling competitively in 6th grade. By high school, he had developed into one of the premier players in his state. His school has been to 2 state championships, and he's earned all state bowling honors for 3 years. Off the lanes, Carson's an Eagle Scout with more than 200 hours of community service. He carries a 4.55 GPA. Think about that. When I went to school, it was a 4.0 max. This kid's 4.55, and he takes advanced classes to get to that level. This fall, Carson will attend Purdue University, where he plans to join the bowling team while majoring in mechanical engineering with a focusing on robotics. Let's take a look at our Chuck Hall Star of Tomorrow. For his excellence on and off the lanes, we are proud to recognize Carson Opella as the 2017 Chuck Hall Star of Tomorrow.
Good morning. I traveled to the Robotics World Championships in Kentucky last week, and I appear to have caught something, so if there's an unnecessary amount of sniffling, I apologize. So to start off, I'd like to give a couple thank yous. To start, my coaches, Dana Miller-Mackey and Mike Miller, mainly for the fact that I figure I can't really be a star of tomorrow if I have no coaching. So thank them for that and the many years that they have put into my growth. I'd also like to thank Steve Mackey, the owner of 10 Pins and More at Rio Rancho, for giving my high school team a place to practice and giving me a place to grow and earn new experiences. And I guess the most important people to thank would be my parents, Phil and Ellen Opella, for all the years that they've given to my growth. And I think my parents realized at a young age that I was not going to be a normal child for sports when my passions as an elementary schooler were chess and fencing. So I'd like to thank them for not trying to force me into baseball or football or one of the more stereotypical sports. And for those of you wondering, yes, that was me up on the screen earlier, admittedly with a lot worse hair. My team won state last year, and we were able to travel to the first ever USBC High School Nationals, where we took second. So that was a very great honor for me and a great experience, but that's a whole nother story. When I first learned that I had received this award, I of course wanted to see who else had received it in the past. I found names like Sean Rash and Scott Norton, who are huge figures on the PBA Tour, which gave me a little bit of excitement about my future. However, as I read over the profiles of each of the previous award winners, a common theme began to emerge. For most of the winners, they had been going to bowling alleys and bowling in leagues since they were 3 or 4 years old. Bowling had always been a part of their lives. For me, on the other hand, that was not the case. When I was young, bowling was not an unfamiliar concept to me. My parents have told me multiple times that they used to bribe me with bowling so I would get my hair cut. However, bowling was never something I really took seriously, and definitely was never something that I envisioned possibly becoming a career or going professional with. My father was in the Air Force for 22 years, and when his job took our family to Great Falls, Montana when I was 11, that was when I first discovered bowling. My parents entered me into a small Saturday morning league at the base bowling alley, and things took off from there. Before long, I had my own bowling ball and was participating in tournaments. Still, though, I was separated greatly from the world of competitive bowling. It wasn't until my father's job once again took us across the country to New Mexico that I learned what bowling could truly become for me. When I first joined the Rio Rancho High School bowling team in the fall of 2012, I had no delusions of grandeur about my bowling career. Little did I know that was about to change. I, having a 140 average, wasn't an incredible asset to my team my 8th grade year, but I set myself up with a solid starting point for an improvement. The next year, I increased my average by 40 pins to a 180, and I was placed on the advanced team. I was the only freshman on the team, and we quickly identified ourselves as one of the dominant teams in the state. We won multiple tournaments over the course of the season, and soon enough, the day of the state tournament arrived. We bowled well during the individual games and moved through the winner's bracket to the final. We were defeated in the first best of 3 set, but because it was double elimination, we got one more shot at it. The opposing team won the first Baker game, and we came roaring back in the second to force one final game. The game started off even, but the opposing team opened a few frames, and we began to string strikes starting in the 5th frame. I was the 3rd bowler in the rotation, and my final frame of the day arrived. Now at this point, I'd like to go on a small tangent. It may seem kind of random, but it has a point, I promise. Under the advisement of a friend, I began watching a TV show about a high school volleyball team. Again, this has a point, I swear. Anyway, there's an episode where the team is practicing with high-level teams from other regions. One of the main characters is having a personal crisis of sorts. He wants to win, of course, but he isn't really giving his all at practice and doesn't understand how everybody can be so dedicated. He has an individual practice session with some players from other teams, and he asks one of the more exuberant ones a question. He says, "This is just a club. The chance that we are going to nationals is almost non-existent. It would be nearly impossible to win, and even if we do, there's nothing after that. Why is everyone so dedicated to this?" The other player's response is the reason why I'm going on this tangent in the first place. He replies, "I'm in my 3rd year of high school. I've been to nationals, and I've done a lot more than you have, but I only recently started thinking that volleyball was fun. That happened when I was able to hit a straight spike past blockers that had stopped me in the past." And here comes the important part of his statement. "It all depends on whether you have that moment or not. It doesn't really matter what happens in the future, or even if you can win the next game. The joy you feel beating your opponent and when you're able to pull out 120% of your potential is everything. Once that moment arrives for you, that's the moment you'll be hooked." Now, going back to my story from earlier, it was my turn to take my last shot of the day. My legs were incredibly weak and I could barely stand, so I knelt down behind the approach and took some breaths, grabbed my ball, and set up. I took my 4 steps, swung my arm back, and let the ball go. Even though looking back at my form at that point makes me cringe, I have to admit it was one of the best shots I threw that day. It rolled about 40 feet down the lane, hooked, and barreled straight into the pocket, knocking down all 10 pins. Unbeknownst to me, that strike officially locked up the match, giving Rio Rancho its first state championship in 3 years. And it was my moment. My teammates surrounded me, cheering, yelling, some crying. And from that moment on, I knew bowling was my sport. People like to say that golf is a thinking man's game. Well, I would like to argue that bowling is also a thinking man's game, with many elements of strategy that come into play. From which bowling ball to use to where to stand on the lane, there are many nuances that appear in this sport once you look past its simple veneer. It also requires you to think long and hard about your future in this sport. It is not easy to take one's game to the highest levels, and it is even harder to make a living doing it. However, being awarded this honor fills me with great confidence as I look forward. This award shows the Congress's faith in not only my bowling skills, but also my community service and my intellectual pursuits. This allows me to believe that even if bowling does not become the main focus of my life 10, 20 years down the road, I believe I can still achieve success in whatever I choose, regardless of what it may be. I would like to thank the United States Bowling Congress for giving me this award and validating the decision that I made 4 years ago. I have worked hard to get to the same level as others that are my age and that have a lot more experience than I do. This award means that all of the time and effort that I have put into the sport are being recognized and that it is coming to fruition. Bowling may not always have been a huge influence in my life, but now it is one of the most important things that I take part in. When I head to Junior Gold this summer, I'm sure that more people will recognize my name and more eyes will be on me. I hope that I can prove to all of you and to other bowlers that I am not just a star of tomorrow and can in fact become a star of today.
Thank you, Carson. I will now hand the program back to the one and only Chad Murphy. Where'd he go?
Hi, I'm Danielle Bunch. I'm Association Manager for Desert Winds USBC Youth in Kennewick, Washington. I'm also a Bronze Certified Coach for our local youth program. I love being part of the sport, been around it all my life, and I love seeing the changes and the growth that's happening throughout the years and what's to come.
I want to thank Mike and Kim and Melissa. What a great presentation this morning. Please give them another round of applause. And then, of course, all the award winners. Youth bowling is obviously a passion of mine. It's a passion of yours. It's a passion of just about everybody that works in and around, volunteers within the sport. Just what a great presentation this morning to all the winners. Again, congratulations. Let's give them another round of applause. Next up to the stage is our president's report. Before he comes out, I just want to tell a quick story. Frankie and I have been together for 7 years now, believe it or not. When I was in the youth area, he chaired the youth committee. And his guidance, strategic vision has been key to just about everything we've done in that space. As you know, I'm a little bit of a talker. I spin, I waffle, I think, I walk, I spin, I waffle. And Frankie's always there to say one thing: hey man, we got a job to do, and I just can't appreciate that enough. So please welcome to the stage your president, my president, USBC President Frank Wilkinson for the President's Report.
Hey Chad, 7 years, coincidence? I think not. Congratulations to all of our award winners, and thank you again for all that you do for our great sport. Thank you to our board members and committee members for being a part of our awards presentation. I hope that you certainly enjoyed your week here in beautiful Las Vegas. Well, I'm a firm believer, and maybe a little biased, that New York City is the greatest city in the world. Yeah, that's right. But this place isn't too bad either. This week we came together to celebrate the successes of the previous year, catch up with some old friends, make some new friends, and most importantly, to learn, share, and unite. There's no better way of learning than networking and sharing new and old ideas, even best practices, with your peers. We believe it's important to invest in ourselves. Investing in ourselves means we're providing a great forum, such as this convention, that includes quality education for you, our volunteer network, that helps operate your local association more efficiently while giving you the tools you need to succeed. Last year, I stood here for the first time as your president, and quite honestly, I must share with you that it was one of the most nerve-wracking experiences. But before some storytelling, I must say thank you. Thank you for electing me. Thank you for allowing me to continue serving our amazing organization in this role. And thank you to our board of directors for having confidence in me, continuing to serve as your leader. So backtrack to 2016. It was the first time that I had the opportunity to stand in front of you as your new leader. It was the first time that I had went through the process to be considered for election as one of your delegate directors on this board. Prior to that, some may call it easy. I will say it wasn't. I had the opportunity to serve as a representative on the youth committee, in which I had then termed off from. In addition, we had some what I would call hot button items on the agenda for the legislation session. Oh, and I'll never forget, it was to be the first time I was at the opposite podium during the Meet the Candidates session. If you were there, you and I both know that performance was well under par. Asking questions, while no easy task, is certainly the better position to be in. Right, Jay? During that session, I was asked a series of questions, one in which stands out and should always be asked of our leadership. I believe it was my dear friend from New Jersey, Chrissy Lee, who asked, and I'm paraphrasing here, what the future of USBC looked like and where we might be in 10 or so years. I'm pretty sure I didn't answer the question. But somehow I got out of there unscathed, and although you went on to elect me the next day, so how bad could my answer have been? To me, the future of USBC looks bright. I believe over the past few years, we have paved the way for USBC to be a successful organization for years to come. We've paved that way by making difficult and great decisions, those that will have an impact on our organization long term, including hiring, who I'm certain is the right guy for the job, future locations of our Open Women's Championships, making investments in youth and professional women's bowling alongside our industry partners. Paving that way doesn't come easy. It doesn't come without a challenge, and it certainly doesn't come without being challenged. Together, we realize the goal of right-sizing our network of associations, the true vision of what this organization was built on. Together, we will also build financial stability, helping us build a future for our sport. Building a future for the sport is multifaceted. A reduced network of associations and better financial position will allow us to continue investing in ourselves to better serve you, our industry partners, and of course, our members through technology, developing the next generation of bowlers, providing opportunities that deliver great aspirational value, our championship tournaments, education and training, and of course, what I believe is one of the most important, next to youth, research and development. Our convention theme from last year still rings true and should always guide us. Today's vision sets the tone for tomorrow's future. The decisions that we have made and the accomplishments we have celebrated are all a reflection on what is yet to come, all working towards the vision of a stronger, unified, national governing body that will lead our industry. And you have been a part of that every step of the way, and thank you. We cannot operate our organization reacting, as we may have in the past. We must challenge ourselves to be proactive through thoughtful planning and research, allowing the data to drive our decisions, all while we're providing quality service to our stakeholders. It's certainly not easy, but I believe the proof is in the pudding. The actions we have taken together have shown us that you have faith not only in our board, but our staff supporting the mission and vision of USBC. All at the same time while keeping our promise to celebrate the past, be mindful of the present, and ensure bowling's future through thoughtful research, planning, and delivery. By definition, we're a membership organization and a national governing body. However, truth be told, we are a national governing body. In fact, we are the governing body for the sport of bowling, which is supported by membership revenue. As the national governing body of a sport, it's our job to be the regulator, and it's our job to protect the integrity of the sport. We will continue to lead your organization and the bowling industry doing the job we are tasked to do. At times, it's not the most popular, nor sexy, but USBC's best interest will always be protected. At the same time, we'll work hard alongside of our stakeholders, being the best partner anyone could ever have. We all know that our current leadership team will not be here forever, and it's our job to ensure continuity for years to come across the entire organization. Continuity in leadership will be realized by practicing effective succession planning, and our strategic and business planning processes will stay on track, based on the strategic direction set by our board. We at USBC have trust and faith that our organization is in the good hands of our volunteer network. I sure hope that you continue to have trust and faith in your national governing body to build a future for our sport. Never forget, we don't need to make bowling great again. Bowling is great, bowling is grand, and bowling, the original social network, will continue to bring people together for generations to come. With that, it's my pleasure to invite Kathy DeSocio, Chair of the Strategic Planning Committee, to give her committee's report.
Good morning, everyone. It was my honor and privilege this year to chair the Strategic Planning Committee. I would like to introduce the newest version of the plan by first reviewing where we started. Most of us in this room have been involved with USBC since its inception in 2005. Most of us were part of the organizations that came together to create USBC as well. It wasn't an easy process, uniting the membership organizations of ABC and WIBC with the national governing body of USA Bowling, and also throw into that mix the YABA, which represented the youth bowlers both as a membership organization and as the governing body. Our first vision statement focused on the unification of these groups. It said we wanted to be the unified organization of choice focused on the growth of the sport. After 2 years, we became more comfortable that we had brought the organizations together, and we focused on what we wanted to do. And that was to grow the sport of bowling. More people recognizing bowling as a sport, more people participating in bowling as a sport. In 2011, we changed our vision again, and we focused more outside of USBC. Our vision was to create lifelong bowlers. From 2013 to 2017, we refocused our vision internally. Our vision was to be the leading authority to the sport, servicing the needs of bowling. The journey of our mission statement also reflects the changes going on in our association. Our first mission statement reflected the coming together of all of our organizations, stating the facts of who we were and what we do. The United States Bowling Congress, as the national governing body, ensures the integrity and protects the future of the sport, provides programs and services, and enhances the bowling experience. That strong, bold, all-encompassing mission statement was our guide from 2005 to 2011. In 2011, led by our vision statement, we changed our mission statement to be externally focused as well, to provide benefits, resources, and programs that enhance the bowling experience. In 2013, our vision once again reflected USBC's emphasis on what we can control internally. Our mission statement changed to reflect this direction. We concluded we can't be all things to all people. We needed to narrow our focus, concentrating our efforts on the sport of bowling. Our mission statement defined that focus.
The USBC is the national governing body for bowling. Our mission is to provide services, resources, and standards for the sport. Our new strategic plan this year is not new. It's an affirmation of the direction we set in 2013 by then Strategic Chairman Robbie Spigner and President Andrew Kane, and approved by our Board of Directors. We are staying the course. We are narrowing our focus on what defines our sport. Our vision has one word added to it, and that word is continue. USBC is committed to continuing to be the resource that everyone looks to for research and analysis, education and training, equipment and certifications, specifications. These are the strategic priorities that are supported by business plans that Chad and his team work on daily. These strategic priorities narrow the framework that focuses the day-to-day business for USBC. Our mission statement also has one word added, and that word is THE. The is such a simple little word, but sometimes those words that are the most basic can also hold the most power. For example, how many of you watch professional football on TV? Me too. So one of my very favorite segments is when they introduce the lineups for the teams, and the players come up and they say where they played college football. One school decided to put the word THE in front of their name. I'm sure you all know who it is. The Ohio State. Many others tried to copy, but they were the original that did that. And the word the, however you want to say it, has emphasis. It emphasizes Ohio State. USBC has added the word the before the word standards, tying together our vision and our mission statements, making very clear that our standards are the standards. We are the leading authority on standards. Our promise has not changed. As Frankie talked about in his speech, our promise is to celebrate the past, be mindful of the present, and ensure bowling's future through thoughtful research, planning, and delivery. The strategic priorities that are the most visible, of course, are our championship tournaments, our youth development in partnership with BPAA, and our value we add to our members, which is supported by all of you in this room, all the state and local associations. These priorities will continue to receive the resources, the time, and the attention that is needed to support them and encourage their growth. Technology and data systems, marketing, diversification of revenue streams are not any less important, but happen mostly behind the scenes, unless they don't function well, and then everyone sees them. They are the support system that makes everything else possible. For USBC, it is important to always keep our core values top of mind while developing these business plans to support our strategic priorities. The core values are to protect the integrity of the sport, service bowling stakeholders, practice financial prudence, thoughtful planning through research, promote bowling as a healthy lifestyle sport, lifetime sport, and deliver unparalleled service. And finally, invest in a future for the sport. Really what we all do, what USBC does, is about creating a future for the sport, our sport, bowling. I want to thank you for your time and your attention, and I hope that somebody told me backstage earlier that strategic planning was sexy. And I said, yeah, not so much. But I hope I haven't bored you all to tears. I hope that I've given you some information to make you feel very comfortable that the strategic plan for USBC is going in the right direction. Finally, we have copies of the strategic plan. which is a summation of everything I've told you, and they are available to you today. So please don't hesitate to take one, and thank you again.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome IBC Youth Chair Melissa McDaniel and IBC Youth Managing Director Gary Brown.
Man, watching those videos still gives me chills. I love it. It's one of the reasons I love my job every day of the week. Good morning. It's been a great year for youth bowling, and we're thrilled to be here to share with you all the fun and positive progress from the IBC Youth Department. We have an exciting announcement this year about the Bowlopolis program. As you all know, getting young age kids with our sport is critical. With that focus in mind, we're making an investment to provide additional value with new and improved Bowlopolis kit. Starting from the 2017-18 season, for our already low $4 national membership dues, all youth bowlers 8 and under will receive this kit for free. Our research has shown that this segment of 6 to 10 is where we need to improve the most. This is when kids are sampling multiple youth sports and activities. If we can enhance the experience at the local level by providing you the tools we need to, we can improve our chances to be lifetime bowlers.
Bowlers Ed in-school bowling continues to deliver great value for the sport and local communities. 2016 was an unprecedented year for the program, with 65 grants being awarded. Schools and organizations were awarded equipment in 29 states, which impacted 175,000 school-aged children. Our partnership with PTO Today helped drive moms and dads from local PTO and PTA groups to advocate in their schools about bowling. No other campaign in the history of PTO Today garnered as much success as our Bowlers Ed program. For us, we received 65 grant applications from this partnership, and we asked, if your kids could learn a lifetime sport that provides cross-curricular learning, that teaches bowling in the classroom, would you be interested? And they answered yes. The numbers nationwide have shown that participation in high school bowling has grown 22 out of the last 23 years. Some of that growth has come from states adding bowling as a varsity sport. After a lot of hard work through the years, the state of Nebraska recently conducted its Unified Championships. Special thanks to John Lucido and all the individuals who worked hard to make this possible. In addition to Nebraska, our staff has been working with other states on the possibility of moving the states from club to varsity levels. We are also now in the final stages of the completion of a new middle school guide. All of this content has been completed and will be available to you at Bowl Expo.
This year was another record-breaking year for collegiate bowling. We had 213 schools as members. That's an increase of 10 schools. In addition, we had nearly 3,600 members who participated at the collegiate level through USBC Collegiate. This growth in collegiate bowling means that we're retaining more bowlers at the high school age and to the collegiate age. In addition, this means a lot more bowling at the local level.
This one's one of my favorites. USA Bowling Coaching continues to provide individuals around the country the fundamentals to teach the sport to youth. We would like to thank the Chuck Gardner Bowl for Life Foundation for believing in the program and sponsoring 5 seminars around the country. To date, the program has trained over 6,900 individuals to teach the sport. In a campus-wide initiative with USBC, BPAA, Strike 10, IPSIA, and the Youth Development Team, we co-launched a new Youth Learn to Bowl program called USA Bowling Learn the Sport. Several years ago, BPAA produced Bowling 2.0, and it was one of the strongest programs delivered to the industry for the skill development designed for recreational bowlers. The Learn the Sport program follows the same formula, but we speak to the kids in a language they are more familiar with. The material, video, and tools helps associations, centers, and pro shops with the ability to drive new kids to a 4-week program in the centers where they'll watch a short video. They'll head to the lanes to test out the lessons that week that they have learned. Our goal is to roll these kids from a 4-week program to a ball league or any other short duration league with the intent to ease these kids into the sport we know that they will soon fall in love with, the generating new lifetime bowlers.
The goal of building our own Little League World Series model came to fruition last year. In 2016, 16 teams representing the U12 and U15 division from each region of the country came to Indianapolis and pulled in the first USA Bowling National Championships, which was aired on CBS Sports Network. This season, we have seen an increase in both participants and in tournament entries. In other positive news for the program, I'm happy to announce that we signed Sixlets as a partner for the national tournament. Special thanks to John Hauerbuck and Roger Nordick for making this possible. The Junior Gold Program, we just come up here every year and talk about it. This is a beast, as the individuals who are part of this event can tell you. Indianapolis was truly special to us. I'm going to give you some numbers from last year's event. Last year, it took over 100 volunteers and staff to work this event. We had 3,292 athletes bowling every day for 5 days in centers across the city. 4,700 people attended the opening ceremonies, which was brand new and brought back for the first time since 2008. 11,000 people went through a trade show in one day at the Indianapolis State Fairgrounds. 7,800 plus spectators went through the doors of Monday's qualifying rounds, and nearly 56,000 games bowled during the week. My favorite one is every day we open the doors at 6 a.m. and close around 1 a.m. each day. And for the Kegel individuals in this place, and also in lane men around here and lane women, we had 12,646 lanes oiled during that week. Truly amazing when you think of bringing that collaboration together to make this effort. If I could get the Indy USBC and anyone who worked at the national event to please stand. Obviously, without this group of individuals, it's just amazing. You couldn't put it on without them. They're there all day long putting their effort into this. We're going to play a brief highlight video of the event from this year.
That's her best shot today. Nice job, Elizabeth. Congratulations to Hannah Diem. Ball through. I like that result. All 10 down. He's got it. The spare and the Junior Gold Championship. Championship's underway. Second frame. Wow, lead just keeps ballooning here. Converts it! What a spare for Solomon. A fantastic shot. And he's going to get the trophy.
We look forward to 2018, 19, and 20 with working with Dallas, Detroit, and Indy for our future events. Special thanks to Jason Thomas for putting that video together. It's truly an amazing event.
Special thanks to bowling.com for their continued support of the Youth Open Championships. Last season, the tournament had over 1,200 participants and issued out nearly $100,000 in scholarships. Just another example of more opportunities for youth bowlers to compete in a national tournament with their friends and showcase their talents.
The Pepsi tournament had a tremendous season. It continues to be the largest youth bowling tournament in the country. Last season, there were over 27,000 participants at the local level. We'd like to thank all of you out there for running the events and continuing the support of this event.
Our marketing efforts continue to boost the youth development programming. We are moving the business forward in a positive way and driving new kids to the sport. Several new sponsors have signed on to support the tournaments. It is a great sign for youth bowling that all these sponsors are youth bowling and as thriving entity and are willing to invest in the programming. We are driving the message where the kids are. You can now follow us, okay, now everybody write this down, at youth_bowling on Snapchat, Twitter, and Instagram. Snapchat is really tough, but it's really good for the kids. In that program, it is bowl, post, and share. A simple but powerful message that you can deliver and communicate with your youth bowlers to join in on the conversation.
In conclusion, I'd like to say special thanks to Nancy Schenk, Frank Wilkeson, Frank DeSocia, and Chad Murphy, the BPA board, and the USBC's board for their continued support. I'd also like to have the IBC Youth Committee please stand up. Let's give them a big round of applause. Without their leadership, none of this would be possible. I'd like to give special thanks to Kim Stanek-Sims and also to Mike Hillman. They are stepping off the board this year, committee this year. Obviously give those two a big round of applause for the continued support of youth bowling. Without them, the successes come from all bowling being unified to do the best what's for our next generation. Thank you and have a good day.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Kelly Kulik, professional bowler. You may have saw me earlier in the week, but I have to switch hats, taking off my hat as board member and coming out as PWA professional bowler. We're so grateful for all your support and really wish myself and all the other ladies could be there this week to support you. But thank you to the delegates and all the fans out there for supporting us. We're ready to kick off the season in Sonoma for the Cubica AMF PWBA Sonoma County Open Championship. Tune in on Extra Frame and look for us on CBS Sports Network.
Third season, PWBA kicking off. That's going to be a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun to work on. Hey, we got 2 speeches left. We thought this might be a good time to just take a quick second. Nobody run out of the room. Take a quick second. Everybody stand up, stretch out, and then we also thought you might like to maybe jump around. All right, thank you very much. Again, we got 2 speeches left, a presentation, a launch of a new program. We thank everybody for hanging in there. That was a good ad by Mr. Overstreet, our entertainment director for this week's cruise. Coming up next to the stage, the executive director report. As you know, the last couple years we've split the report. Jason Overstreet does a wonderful job for the association all the way through. I will welcome our Deputy Executive Director to the stage, Mr. Jason Overstreet.
Thanks, Chad. That's my new plan to make sure everybody's awake for my segment of the speech. Just add in a little bit of jumping around before we get started. Appreciate all of the smiles that we've seen here this week. It really has been just a terrific time of education and coming together. It's just been so inspiring over the last few years to see the energy and tone here at this convention and the annual meeting and the way that it's evolved and the way that all of you have come together to support USBC's areas of focus. It really takes all of us together to make sure that we continue to see great progress in these areas. Just a reminder of what our operational areas of focus have been lately: youth development, championship tournaments, technology, membership value, and marketing. You just heard Gary and Melissa give a great update on all of the successes on the youth side. Now let's talk a little bit about our championships tournaments. First, let's hear a round of applause for everyone who has been to the brand new South Point Bowling Plaza, $30 million facility here in Las Vegas. It really is a spectacular venue to participate in, and it is also a perfect venue for a television finals.
And a bowler rules a 300 game on tonight's telecast, receives a $10,000 bonus courtesy of Pepsi, the official soft drink of bowling. 2 away from that.
I was going to say he's finishing on the tougher of the 2 lanes, but it doesn't look like he has a tougher of the 2 lanes. For 11.
11 straight. What do you say? Merci bien. Woo! Monsieur Lavoie. This is fun to watch. Now is here, certainly is our BPA moment of the match. The 11th for Francois. Down, now it's number 12. Can he do it? One more.
I say yes. I absolutely say yes. For a piece of history, young man.
$10,000 bonus. You better believe it, he did it. A perfect 300 game for Francois Lavoie. C'est magnifique.
Certainly a memorable moment there in South Point, and Las Vegas has been a popular destination for our bowlers as well this year. In the Open Championships, we have more than 10,000 teams competing here in Las Vegas. That's the highest entry total that we've seen in 4 years. And the introduction of a new middle division at the Open Championships for the 180 to 209 average bowlers has been well received as well. Next year in 2018, the USBC Open Championships heads east to Syracuse. This will be the first time the tournament has been to the Northeast in approximately 20 years, and we know there's a lot of excitement to head out to that part of the country. The 2017 Women's Championships kicked off in Baton Rouge on Sunday, and that was certainly a terrific opening ceremonies. We have more than 4,000 teams for this year's event in the custom-built center inside the Raising Cane's River Center downtown. The USBC tournament staff has done an absolutely spectacular job in building this venue. We've already hosted the NCAA championships there, as well as the USBC Intercollegiate Championships. Next month, we'll have the USBC Queens there as part of the PWBA Tour, so a lot of excitement in Baton Rouge. Next year in 2018, the Women's Championships heads to the National Bowling Stadium in Reno to be held in conjunction with this convention, so please go online and reserve your spots as soon as you can. Another major priority in terms of our focus that we want to talk about is USBC technology. And in technology, we're building a new foundation. Since we last met, USBC launched a redesigned version of bowl.com. The new website now has a custom layout that responds to mobile devices and tablets. It's also, you may have noticed, faster and more stable than our previous designs and versions. We've also made Find a Member now a member benefit. The information that you as association managers and leaders work so hard to validate and enter into WinLabs should be a member benefit. It should be something that is exclusive to those who support our organization at the state, local, and national level. The new WinLabs 12 software is now available for associations to use as well, and many of you are already taking advantage of this upgrade and benefiting from it. When thinking about membership value, please always think about WinLabs and the software solutions that are provided just for our associations. USBC invests millions of dollars in creating this software package so that you can be efficient and effective in the way that you run your businesses. Imagine just for a moment what it would be like without this software. No league management capabilities, no custom tournament module, no ability to inventory awards the way that we do at the association level, no custom reports, those 80+ reports unavailable. Fortunately, you don't have to think about that world. We are now upgraded with a software tool that is good for 2017 and will be positioned to have us be successful for many years to come. But this didn't happen just from the IT team at USBC headquarters. I want to give a big thank you to our more than 24 association managers who volunteered to help test WinLabs 12. You see a picture of them as they visited headquarters to assist us there in person. We couldn't have done it without you. Please, a round of applause for the great assistance that we've gotten on this project. Thank you very much. This really is your WinLabs 12. If you've registered for the 2018 Open or Women's Championships, you've experienced another big improvement on the technology side from USBC. USBC now has custom online software to be able to register for our championship tournaments. And this is a huge step forward and has already been a great experience for our captains. Many of you have utilized this if you've registered for either the Open or Women's. In the future, we're going to be looking for ways to expand this software too, to be able to have the opportunity for other tournament managers, associations down the road to be able to take advantage of the technology. When you think back and look at all the things that our technology team has delivered in the 12 months past, it really is amazing what they have accomplished. If you think about it and we rattle them off. Brand new website, first time in 3 years. Brand new tournament registration system, first time in 5 years. Brand new WinLabs, first time that software has been overhauled from a fundamental language purpose for 19 years. And moving Find a Member behind a login, first time we have ever done that. All in the last 12 months, and I would say all without any significant outages or major issues thanks to some of the testing that you've helped provide. So thank you all. Technology and marketing, of course, go hand in hand as well. Quality members' data is critical. That's what allows Tremont Thomas and his marketing team back at headquarters to make sure that the right messages are sent to the right bowlers. USBC's marketing team is now using sophisticated data modeling to make sure that targeted offers go to the right members. This approach is especially important when marketing the USBC Open and Women's Championships. Sending the same promotional material in the mail to the entire membership simply doesn't make a lot of sense. It's not cost effective, it's not a good experience. So instead, the USBC marketing team is sending marketing messages like those that you see on the screen to those that we can predictively model as being most likely to respond. Another key marketing strategy for USBC has been our social media. Social media reach for USBC continues to explode. An example, on Facebook, just in February alone, USBC video posts were viewed 2.6 million times. We had more than 120,000 engagements. And for those who may not know, engagements are really the gold standard of social media marketing. People not just liking what you're saying, but actually engaging with it, commenting as well. Successful marketing is more than product promotion and social engagement alone, though, of course. We need our brands to mean something to people. And the PWBA Tour has been a fantastic example of that. The PWBA Tour isn't just marketed for the competition alone. It's a way to tell stories about the sport that we all love.
What I love about bowling is it's a lifetime sport and anyone can participate. All ages, all skill levels, boy, girl, does not matter. That's what I love about bowling.
When I was very young, I had so much passion for the sport, and my whole life I've just love it so much. I love the challenge, I love the competition, I just love the fact that I'm able to even do it. It's a constant puzzle that is almost unsolvable. The friends you make, the places you get to travel, people you get to see, there's nothing not to love about it, really. It has been my entire life. I grew up in a bowling center. My parents bought one when I was 3, and so it's kind of all I've known. It's brought all of my friends, all of my relationships together, and it's been the center of my life.
Man, 10 straight back for Josie.
What a great shot out of Josie. Look at her, she's having fun.
It's unpredictable. You can practice, and execute 100%, and the outcome can be something different.
I love the competition and just making new friends.
I've bowled since I was a little kid. I grew up in my dad's bowling alley. I think my favorite thing about the sport is competing.
There's the first one. It's a no-doubter. She has won the Go Bowling PWBA Player Championship. From start to finish, Liz Johnson has done it. Officially her 15th career, Denise Lim has won in Las Vegas. Great shot for McEwen. Across the deck.
Bowling allows me to be competitive and travel the world, and has allowed me to meet some of my absolute best friends.
The PWBA project is only possible thanks to our fantastic partnership with the Bowling Proprietors Association. It's a 50-50 partnership, our staff working hand in hand with Frank DeSocio and his staff. We really, really appreciate all of their commitment and partnership in this project. Let's have a round of applause for BPAA. We certainly also want to recognize the support of the PWBA Tour that comes from Tom Clark and the PBA. Lots of shared promotion and shared resources. Thank you very much to the PBA. A round of applause, please, for our partners. Now, USBC is very fortunate to have tremendous support from across the industry, and that's one of the things that allows us to be successful as a national governing body. I would also like to put on the screen and recognize our USBC gold and silver level partners. These are the industry brands that have said, we support you as a national governing body at an additionally high level. Let's hear it for these brands and make sure that we all keep that in mind and provide our support for the brands that support USBC. And specifically for the PWBA Tour, our registered brands that have stepped up with additional support for PWBA. Let's show a round of applause for the PWBA brands of registered products. Also want to spend a moment to talk about a special industry partner from outside of bowling. For many years, Nationwide Insurance has been a very special friend of bowling. You may know they are a sponsor of the PWBA Tour. They are also the largest partner for USBC. Nationwide is on our side in every way, and we hope that you will continue to support Nationwide with your business whenever possible as well. I would like to recognize Nationwide Insurance for their support of bowling. In closing, I urge you to think about membership value. It is, of course, the final thing on our priority list and our areas of focus, because everything that I've talked about today ties back into membership value. What do I get for my membership? A future for the sport, a strong national governing body providing outstanding youth programs, championship tournaments like no other, modern technology tools for associations, and marketing programs that showcase what's great about bowling to millions of people. It's been a great year, and I want to thank everyone in the room because you all helped make it possible. Thank you. Now I'll turn it back over to Chad.
Thank you. Can you guys hear me?
All right, we're going to do this ED speech a little differently this year. Usually it's a podium speech, but I'm going to do a little walk around if that's okay. I wanted to start by recognizing a couple of folks. You guys will obviously know Mike and Robin. Mike is our staff lead for convention. Hasn't USBC Convention been incredible this year, last couple of years? Mike's done a wonderful job. I just want to thank him. Appreciate all the hard work, man. And Miss Robin is now my executive assistant. She's really the one that supports all the needs of the USBC board. In addition to that, she does about, 63,000 other things. Judy Santarius, everybody will remember Judy retired, and we've hired Robin to take her place, and she's been great, and we just want to thank her. She did the Hall of Fame last night, everything that goes with it. So thank you, Robin. I appreciate it. Thanks, guys. I want to start the speech just real quickly by again thanking Jason Overstreet. One of the great things about being the executive director, one of the best decisions I made early on was making Jason my deputy, our deputy, certainly your deputy. We couldn't do it without him. He's got a deep history in PR and communications, but more importantly, he's got a math brain in there. He's leading the IT team, doing a lot of things. Again, the best part about it is that he's my deputy executive director. He's professionally trained to stand in front of you and talk. The worst thing about it is that I usually go after him. And so please, another big round of applause for Deputy Executive Jason Overstreet. Frank Wilkinson, Kathy DeSocio, our president and vice president. Being in those positions for an organization like this is really different than it was in years past. It's early morning phone calls, late night conversations, calls with legal, just about everything you could imagine. We have a very close-knit relationship with our president and vice president, and Frankie and Kathy have just done wonderful things in giving that strategic leadership to our staff so that we can go out and educate and do all the great things that we do, but couldn't do it without you guys. I really appreciate it. Thanks for all the hard work and help, and just incredible. Our USBC board, I think so often I wonder, I marvel at the amount of time and energy away from their families, their businesses, again, their jobs, the commitment that they make as you do locally to this association is something that when I got here I didn't quite understand. I won't say it didn't make any sense to me, but it's just amazing. I ask myself, I ask our staff to ask ourselves all the time, if you weren't working here, would you make that type of commitment to something, whether it be bowling, an organization, something that you're passionate about? I only assume that they make this commitment just like we all do within this room for that passion for the sport of bowling, which is a wonderful thing. So again, from my heart to the USBC Board of Directors, thank you. If I could have all of our association managers in the room to please rise. Give me just a second. Stay up. No, stay up. Thanks for taking care of your board. No, nobody sits, everybody stands. Thanks for taking care of our boards. Thanks for taking care of our members. Thanks for running our tournaments. Thanks for doing the work. And again, it's amazing. And some of you do it as part-time jobs. Sometimes you do it as a second job. Sometimes you do it as a third job. I love you guys to death, and thank you for everything that you do for this sport. I appreciate it a great deal. If you have volunteered in the last 12 months on a board, at a committee, at a tournament, I'd ask you to please stand up. Some of you have heard me say this before, and there was certainly a push at different times. talking about our associations and the people. There was a group that worked in this space before, and they really questioned, and they didn't quite know or understand it. I come from my grandfather's bowling center. I was a part of a wonderful association. I know what you guys do every day. I know how important it is. Don't think for a second that we don't appreciate your time, your energy, and your passion for this sport. Thank you. There's a quote that certainly directly applies to you guys: those that can do more volunteer. And so again, I really do appreciate all that you do for us. My staff, your staff, the USBC staff, some of them are in the back of the room. My buddy Mike Cannington was interviewing several months ago, and he was passionately telling this story, and he won't even remember that I was paying attention to him when he did this. We need, evangelists. We need bowling evangelists, he said. We need people that will, just buy in and believe. And that's our staff at USBC. They get up early. They stay up late in some cases. They work hard. They're bowling believers. Otherwise, they wouldn't be working in this space. Many of them now bowl if they didn't before themselves. Many more are bowlers, just like I am. I'd ratchet off everything we do: PR, communications, IT, membership, marketing, youth, all the things that we do. That staff brings it every day, and we couldn't do it without them. So please give them a round of applause. Thank you. Thank you. Jason hit on most of 2016 and 17, and even before that, and I just want to hit a few of the high points, but it really was an incredible year for this association, as I talked about yesterday. In the youth area, junior gold's up again, high school bowling's up again. There's just so many good signs about the sport, and we always have those conversations about sport versus recreation, and we're here, to service the sport. The recreation is certainly part of it. Our league play and all the things that go with that. Our Open Championships is up 41% over the last 2 years, which is incredible growth when you think about it. So many things that we do, we're measured on things from 20 years ago, from 40 years ago, from 10 years ago. If we'll start looking in 3 to 5 windows, you'll find some real success, some hot points, some visions of light and purity. And I would tell you that things are really, 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 really going well. What you guys did here at this convention last year, there's so many good things happening in the field. 2016 and 17 was a really incredible year for the organization, and I thank you for all your help and support to achieve that. Financially speaking, we are certainly in good shape. Our audit committee recently approved the third-party audit from Clifton, Allen, and Larson. The financial committee at USBC has done a wonderful job this past year of overseeing our staff, the pieces that go with it. The financials are in your convention program. They will be posted at bowl.com on Monday. You'll remember I stood on this stage 4 years ago. We weren't quite friends yet at that time, although I hoped we would be. And we talked about transparency of the information, making sure that you know everything that we're doing and why we're doing it and how we're doing it, and the financial picture is a piece of that. We now post our 990s on the website. It's harrowing for people to know how much money you make when you work for a nonprofit, but the reality is we need you to have all that information, so when we have these conversations as stakeholders, it's relevant. It's needed. USBC's financial position is good. With the decision that you made last year with the dues increase, I would tell you we're in a good place for the next decade or so. We will be looking at diversifying our revenue streams, as we always do, in several areas, and then we'll work towards that over the next decade, but things are good financially. In moving forward now, thinking about what has happened and as we progress, one of the great things about those financials being in a good place, I attack certain areas with zest and vigor, and if I see something that's broke, I always want to try to fix it, and you can't always fix it, right? There's processes that have to be improved and things that have to come along. You can't necessarily say, well, we're going to get to here, and we're going to get there today from here. right? And if you do that, it probably fails. There's steps that have to be taken. You have to trust the process. You know, trust your ship, trust your crew. And so one of those things, when we knew that the dues increase was going to go through, one of the pieces that I feel like this association misses is an educational leader. I think years ago maybe we had one. I think years ago we probably maybe did a better job of education. I think what we've been pulling together the last few years has been wonderful. But I wrote up a business plan to increase our effort in the area of leadership and training. And we took it to the board of directors, and you know, they just got passionate about it too. I remember, I think it was, oh, I can't talk about it. I forgot, it's confidential. I'm just kidding. You know, one of our folks was like, you know, I think it might be about damn time that we get serious about this space. And so you're going to see a lot from us, education and training-wise. The first step to that was hiring someone that was an expert in the space. You guys have heard me talk about it all the time. Subject matter experts. If you don't have an expert in the room when you're making a decision, boy, that's a mistake. And so we've hired a gentleman by the name of Richard Stewart. He came in December. He's been here about 20 minutes, but I would tell you he's come a long way. He didn't need to come a long way. He had all the chops when we went through the interview process. You know, Richard really stood out. We had him and another person, Richard and I, we talk about it. It's just incredible how sometimes it's fate and kismet that lands you into the right space. We could have went through 8 to 10 folks to find this gentleman, but he's going to do great work for this association. And Richard, man, good job this week. Thank you. The education was awesome. One of the first things he's going to deliver, and again, this was to the board blessed, and now we're going out to educating. 2017, the first USBC Association Leadership Academy will take place. We're really going to ratchet it up. What you see here in learning, sharing, uniting will now move on to the campus in Arlington. We will be inviting association leaders in, state association leaders in, volunteers that will be invited to the campus. There will be 4 or 5 of them this year. We might only get to 4, but we're hoping to get 3 or 4 for sure. Then in the future, you know, 4, 5, and 6. Very simply, we have selected a group that has either showed want in this space. We use performance standards as one of the metrics for folks needing the help. And we will be inviting those folks to the campus. The first invites will go out next week, and we'll execute that over time. To be clear, there will be no cost, 0 cost, none, to the association or to the individuals that are invited, none. Over the next 3 to 5 years, we hope to get as many people into the campus in Arlington to get that needed education. Efficiently and effectively, it will cover everything we do as an association in just trying to improve the processes and procedures that we do locally in working with everyone, our members, our proprietors, again, to better activate in the field. But that's a program that will start this summer. Again, invites will go out this week. A lot of you folks in this room come to convention and get the education. There's a lot of folks that don't come to convention. As you know, 348 associations are represented this week. A much larger group certainly could be helped from this education, and so USBC will start delivering on that immediately. You're going to hear a lot about USBC equipment specifications in the next few years. 5 years ago, before I even got here, there was a program that was research was launched into how USBC associations are processing lane inspections. We went through a lot of kind of data and research to figure out how good a job that we were doing, and then we inevitably launched a program called PLIs. It was cumbersome, it wasn't effective, and so we did what any responsible organization would do. We killed it. We killed it for more research, for more data collection, a better program, a better look at process improvements that could improve in this area. You'll remember how many some of you folks were here the other night for the rules seminar, and we asked you a question. The guys are going to put this up on the screen, I think. Having a certified lane inspection process is, number one, no longer important. 2, important. 3, never going to work long-term. Centers can't afford it. Or 4, essential to the long-term viability of the sport. This is also how you answered that question. 401 of you said essential to the long-term viability of the sport. It's a little harrowing thing. You're getting ready to launch this new program at convention, and at the first night you ask the question where they might say, hey, you're nuts. Right? Had you answered that question differently, we might have had a problem, but everybody believes in the standards of the game, right? Everybody believes in the rules. And so this is something that we have to get involved in, but make no mistake about it. And again, this is an important piece of the puzzle. Our proprietors, who are our friends, some of them very close friends of mine, are not and probably will not going to fix their issues unless we do a good job of communicating with them to do that. USBC National has not supported USBC Local and the inspection teams. We have not certainly shown oversight in this area. I wouldn't tell you we completely vacated the business, but I would say we're pretty close to that. Even though a lot of you have still done great work in doing those inspections across the country, we have data to now show that we've been very relaxed in this area, and we've got to get back to it. If we're going to have standards and we're going to hold people to standards, it starts in this room. It starts at the national office. It starts with our local associations. And so, a quick story about a process improvement.
We just started by looking at the data and saying, you know, this house says every lane is perfectly flat. Oh, that's impossible. So you looked at the data and said, we don't believe it. And so we just started with a paperwork study. That's how it started.
Well, I think the thing that's most surprising is we found a lot of measurements that were outside of spec and centers that are certified, and that's not good for an integrity point of view. If we're saying you're certified, you ought to be within spec. So that's probably the most surprising thing we found, is how much was out of spec.
And so we went from there to saying, well, let's get good data, and then now that we have the data, how much should we allow before it affects scoring?
For a full inspection, they're measuring characteristics of topography of the lane, so how flat the lane is, not only from a tilt perspective, in other words, crosswise tilt and lengthwise tilt, but also for crowns and depressions across the lane surface. They're also checking for drops between panels on synthetic surfaces, any distance between those drops. There's also some measurements that go on for just dimensions, lane length, approach length. When we get into the pit area, they're checking gutter widths, they're checking the width between the kickbacks, they're checking pit depths, they're checking pit lengths. There's a bunch of measurements to go on to make sure everything stays within a set tolerance.
We had, I believe it was around 10% of all the data that we collected was out of spec. But we collect a lot of data points on each lane. Actually, I think it was almost 1,000 data points per lane. We took a measurement on every board. There's 39 boards across the lane, and we did it every 2 feet down the lane. So that's like 700 readings right there, plus the pin deck readings.
The current specification for crosswise tilts, lengthwise tilts, crowns and depressions is 40 thousandths of an inch. Plus, basically the ideal specification is that the lane be flat, and we give you a plus or minus 40 thousandths of an inch tolerance. We found out that if you maintained a particular shape, if you imagine your lane was depressed all the way down, even if it wasn't tilted, you throw a ball along the 5 board, over the course of 60 feet, it's going to go to the 10 board. It's going to be a 5 boards difference, even within spec, which was pretty surprising. That just 40 thousandths of an inch, that's less than a 20th of an inch. It's tiny. That much lower in the middle than on the edge of the lane can make a 5 board difference over the course of 60 feet.
When you start getting undulations and tilts on the lane, you can start having bowling balls do some things you're not used to seeing. You can see steerage of the ball from the lane panel itself.
We did a whole study with the bowl score where bowl score's a ramp, a ball goes down, and we can put the ramp at a location, and it'll just put the ball right down the ramp, so it's always in the same spot. Then we move it a half an inch, then we move it a half an inch, then we move it, and we change angles. We go everywhere, so it's just barely hitting the head pin, and we change the flat gutter depths. And we changed everything in the pit. And the number one factor in scoring in the pit that we measured from the bowl score test was the distance between the two kickback plates in the back by the 10 pin, 7-10 pins. If you make that narrower, to kick out the 10 pin, the pin in front goes against the kickback and comes back. If that space is smaller, you get out more 7 pin, or for right-handers, I'm left-handed. If you get for right-handers to get the 10 pin out, if that space is smaller, you get more strikes. Flat gutter depths. Everyone says flat gutter depths is big and important. And we went from 2 7/8 to 4 inches. So we went outside the spec. And going outside the spec from 2 3/4 to 4, we found 1 pin difference from flat gutters. So they were less important. So, and that's the kind of stuff we're doing, is saying, let's measure everything. Let's find out what we get from the field measurements. And we already have these measurements. Maybe some of those we can open up, and maybe you don't have to fix some of the things that are out, and other things that are important, like kickbacks. We need to address that.
Originally, it was 3 spots because lanes were wood, and they would be resurfaced every few years. And the resurfacers actually sanded them level. So really, they were just making sure that they sanded them deep enough that there's no remaining track carved into the lane from the balls. Nowadays, most of the lanes are synthetic panels, and they have 5 panels on them. So we're not measuring all the panels that are installed into the lane, and there's panels out there that no one's ever measured. It just doesn't make sense. We should measure it at least once per panel just to make sure everything's good. So why does the spec need to be changed? Well, technically we're not changing the overall spec overall. What you measure on an inspection is going to be the same, but we're tightening the specs on how they're installed. And the hopes of that is essentially, if we install them tighter, as they get more wear and tear on them, they're going to stay within spec longer. And it's going to be easier as an industry to maintain the lanes to a proper level of flatness. It's really the kickback spacing at the width that had the largest factor. If the wall's closer to the 10 pin or the 7 pin, it helps the 6 or the 4 pin take it out. So you just carry more when the walls are closer in together. Everything else was a factor, but they were smaller factors than that one.
Any changes that will be made will just be made to clarify the sheet that's out there, to clarify what we need moving forward from the inspectors themselves. The form's been around for some time. I don't think it's gone through a major overhaul. But anything we change on it will just be to clear it up and to make it a little easier to understand, maybe realign some of the tests so that they can be done in order on the sheet, so that's a little easier to work tool to tool.
We want to get the word out that for next season, 2018 certification season, we want to collect all the existing certification forms that are filled out every day for every center, send them in here, and we're going to put them in our computer and analyze the data and see what we have, where we're at. So please get us the good data and don't just write 0, 0, 0, 0, 0.
Both Danny and Tom are in the room today. They've been working really hard on this project, as has the entire equipment specs team. So thank you, boys. I appreciate it. Again, this is complicated. This is a complicated problem. This is a complicated issue. This is a sensitive, emotional issue, and it will be for the entire industry. Right? We've gone way too long in trying to figure this out. You'll know that the spec across the lane, you measure in 3 places currently. That spec's been in place for a long time. I'd like to say over 50 years. It was there and put in for wood lanes. Everybody make sense to everybody so far? We now have synthetic lanes that are built in 5 panels. 12-foot sections. That makes sense to everybody? And so it would be just common sense probably to measure on one spot on each of those panels. That makes sense to everybody? So we're going to go from 3 measurements to 5. And never having done this, who knows what we're going to find. We may find out that, some of those panels are in spec, some of those panels aren't. But there are 3 phases to what we're talking about here. And you guys know me well enough, I'm going to try and keep it simple for you. And you know why I need to keep it simple for you? Because I need to keep it simple for me. We're going to be talking to a lot of folks. We're going to be having conversations with the entire industry about this over the next year or so. But the first phase is increased enforcement by USBC associations. I would tell you that's not you with the hammer out to your centers. That's not at all what we're talking about. This is local and national working together. Right. This is local and national working together to collect data and then following up with the proprietors to give them information. The 17-18 season does not change. You're already in the middle. It started April 1. It'll end in August. The certification process for 17-18 will be exactly as it is before. In 2018-19, starting next April, there will be a new form. There will be a couple new asks. The biggest ask are those 2 extra locations from 3 to 5. Everybody still with me? Additional asks on top of that is it will require 3 signatures on the form. Association manager, the person that inspected it, and someone from the center, a proprietor or GM. If the association manager is the same person that did the inspection, they'll just sign that form twice in those areas. We will be spot checking those forms. The only thing that you have to do in 18-19 to be certified as a bowling center with USBC is do the inspection and have the signatures. It doesn't matter what the data says. We're certifying everyone in that season so that we can collect the data and see where we're at. It's really that simple. And so phase 1 is USBC association. It's on us, folks. It isn't the proprietors. It's not that they're not doing it. In some cases, yeah, they're not doing it. But is there enough communication between us and them, we, together, to have this piece make sense? The second piece is the new manufacturer specification for installations. Okay, the spec is 40 thousandths, and when they go into install the lane, they go in and make sure that it's at 40 thousandths. After the bowling center settles, it gets cold, it gets hot, what happens to the wood? It settles, right? For those of you in cold weather environments, the 4 seasons, if you walked out into your front yard and you looked at that 20-foot or 30-foot or 5-foot tree, you'll see that it looks very differently in each one of those seasons. And so the manufacturer is currently going in and installing at 40 thousandths. What we know from the data and the study that you'll see later today is that it does return within the season basically to the same spot. If you were to measure October to October, the increase is minimal. But it might go, 10 thousandths, 20 thousandths, 30 thousandths during the year, but it comes back down to about where it started, maybe a little higher. And so if we take the installation spec from 40 thousandths and move it to 30, that's going to buy the proprietor between 6, 8, maybe even 10 years before they even have to mess with the 40,000 spec. And so we're going right back to the beginning with the manufacturers. This is the preventative for the future piece. All new installations at 30 thousandths will ensure that that proprietor has a lot less maintenance. You will have less work with your lane inspections. You probably won't have to follow up with new installations. You'll still have to do the work, but all those follow-ups, because they're not in spec and getting them to become in spec, will become lighter and lighter and lighter because we're doing it at the installation piece. And then the third piece, I don't remember what, I'm kidding. The third piece is the 3 to 5 with the proprietor. And this is going to be the pain point for the industry. Everybody's going to be able to get their arms wrapped around a spec that's 50 years old, that was built for wood lanes, and moving into the future now that 80.2% of the lanes in the U.S. are synthetic. So everybody's going to be able to get their arms wrapped around the fact that we do need to measure 5 panels instead of 3. But again, it's going to be very emotional. And that won't happen until August 1 of 19 with the new installation spec as well. So we take 2 years to clean up our house. Our house being everybody in this room, all the local associations around the country, and the national office. 2 years to clean up our house, and then we ask the manufacturers and the proprietors, August 1 of 2019, to help us out with that. That makes sense to everybody? 3 phases. What was phase number 1? Come on. Our house. First phase. What's the first phase? Our house. USBC associations, national and local, working together to clean up this process. New form. I'd like to hear everyone say it. What's phase 1? Thank you. Phase 2, the manufacturer, new installations go in August 1 of 2019, including overlays. What's phase 2? Manufacturer. Phase 3, August 1 of 19 is who? The proprietor. Again, I hate to keep it simple, but that's the only way it works for me. And when we go out and explain this in the field, there should be no confusion. What's the current spec for crowns and depressions? How many? 40 thousandths. What's the spec in the future? 30. Thank you. Stop. No. In the future, the spec is 40 thousandths. The new installation only is 30 thousandths. All centers older than 12 months, the spec will remain at 40 thousandths. Okay? Only new installations, that first 12 months, do they have to be within 30. And again, that's preventative maintenance for the future. But the spec isn't changing. There's no major change to this spec in any way, except for the areas in which we measure. So again, step 1 is? Step 2 is? Step 3 is? What's the spec? What's the future spec? You guys are great. Thank you for that. Wonderful job. This is a process improvement. And again, we're taking a spec that's, 40 to 50 years old. I don't even know the complete history, but it was for wood lanes. And we are improving our processes into the future in this area in all 3 phases of the industry. You'll see later today, I think it's probably out now on your phones, press releases, FAQs, videos, training video will come next week. There'll be more communication. Again, there's got to be a lot of emotion. There's going to be, hey, well, who's paying for this? Right? This is not a hammer. This is not go out to your proprietor and force them to do anything. We're going to clean up our house first. And if we don't get our house cleaned up, that's our responsibility. Then we're going to have to work with them longer term to make some of those changes using that pending piece. But this is a partnership. Our proprietors are just people too, just like us. They're friends of a lot of ours. Used to hear me stand in the youth department, and I'm certainly doing it here. It's a partnership between a local and a proprietor, no matter what the history between the two of us might be. And so we're going to help you with that, and we hope that you will help us with that. But again, I can't be clear enough, and this video is going to be online later today, right, for everybody to see. Use it. Our proprietors are our friends. And this is a financial commitment that they will inevitably have to make. And so we are going to work with them. That little 8-lane center and wherever it is might not be able to afford this on our timeline. And so we're going to have to work with them to move forward. We're going to work with some of our partners at the campus and within the industry to really work together and look at this. Potential new activation programs that come a little later on. And it's all going to be determined by the data that we collect as we move forward. Everything based on the data. What's the first phase? The second phase? The third phase? What's the spec today? What's it going to be in the future? Again, Tom, Danny, great work, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. I would tell you I'm almost done, but I'm almost done. Average integrity. For those of you that were at the rules seminar this week, we entered a new piece of business called Challenge. right? Sport being the toughest, challenge in the middle, and then standard at the top of the ladder. We've got a lot of sandbaggers out there, but more importantly, we've got some folks that would probably like to bowl on a little tougher condition but don't want to step all the way down to sport. And so we now have conversion chart that fits in the middle of the two that exist. It's just one of those, again, a process improvement. Why does it have to be either or? Why can't there be options in the middle? And that's what Challenge was created to do. Sport will be 4 to 1 or less. Challenge will be 5 to 8 to 1, and then standard will be 9 to 1 or higher. All of those things certainly change on wood versus synthetics. The scores, the data will be mined and looked at. We need you and all of your friends on the association to make sure that we're classifying these leagues in the correct categories. When somebody shows up at a handicap tournament and they're getting a bunch of pins, we like to call them sandbaggers and cheaters, but in some cases, they didn't even know anything about it. It's just the structure that's in place. And so we are improving the process with a new designation that is Challenge. And it will give you better options to govern, better options locally at your bowling centers. You guys are bowlers, you're members too. You might bowl in a standard league on Monday night, you bowl in a challenge league on Thursday nights to go prepare for the Open Championships. There's lots of really good benefits for this. And again, I did this the other night. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this, but what's the toughest one? What's the next toughest one? And where do all the strikes come from? Again, very easy to understand. Conversion charts that go back and forth, another process improvement that moves us forward in the future. We also have a re-rate position at bowl.com. How many of you have re-rated someone in the past 5 years? Oh, hold them high, please. Hold them high, please. Right? We have built a new system, so hold them high, please. Everybody that their hand up has an opportunity to communicate with everyone who also has a hand up and everyone who doesn't. It now lands at bowl.com. Every time you re-rate somebody, please go to bowl.com and fill out the form. That way everyone in the neighboring associations can see it. Again, these aren't just cheaters and sandbaggers. Sometimes they're bowling in a center that's just tougher. We got 8-lane centers all over the country, that may not have the modern equipment. And so when you re-rate somebody, put that information out there so that everyone can see it. This was built for you. And again, I talked about it the other night. I talk about it all the time. We're going to provide benefits and resources that better the sport. We do that for you so you can do what? We're going to provide benefits and resources for the sport. We're going to service you so that you can do what? Service the member. Thank you. And again, those re-rates and that new challenge chart, yeah, there's sandbaggers, and yeah, there's a few cheaters in there, but a lot of folks don't know. But the important part, and it's the toughest part, you, me, our staff, everyone involved with USBC, right? We represent the national governing body for the sport of bowling. We have to start enforcing the rules if we're going to clean it up. Anybody disagree with that? Okay, good, because if you do, I would like to talk to you after. Remember last year? If you don't agree with that, I'll see you over here on the stairs. Right? I thank you for that. I got a couple more things and then we're done. As you know from the length of this presentation, I like words. I like words a great deal. I think they're powerful. The old saying, the pen and the sword. When you guys walk out today, you're going to get a pen. It's pretty cool. This is another, magic Richard Stewart, if you will. On that pen is a zip drive. It includes all the materials for this year's convention. And I just want to say that Mike Larson and I, we would have thought of this sooner or later, but Richard certainly helped with the process. On that zip drive, I would ask you to do a couple things. There's one thing on there. When you open it up, it says, open this first. Hopefully I won't mess this up, but it'll say, open this first. When you do that, there's an opportunity in there to win an all expenses paid trip to convention next year. And so we hope that you'll open it up, check the information on the drive, and again, all the education, the goals, the wigs, everything that you saw this week, the tornadoes, are there for you to use locally and take home and do all of those things with it. And so you'll get that on the way out. The second thing is, I'm sure you've been using your pads and your notebooks. Open up the pen this afternoon, hit the share wall, and just write something on there that's your key takeaway for the week. Believe it or not, that goes back to the campus, and we make notes, and we look at ways to improve and exchange and new ideas for the future. And so again, this pen, 17 commemorative, take it home. Hopefully you'll keep it and use it. You'll think about things throughout the year. It'll be reminders to what maybe you learned here or maybe what you took away. Maybe it'll make you think of something that we should be doing better. And so then write that down, put it in an email, send it in so that we can improve as well. All part of that. The second thing that you're receiving on the way out, Kathy DeSocio, our strategic planning chair, your vice president, did a wonderful job, I believe, of delivering this strategic plan. The strategic planning committee worked hard on this. As she said, it's not new, but it is an affirmation of the work that we've been doing. This is the guiding document for our staff. We use it all the time to really think about if we have a new idea, does it fit in the strategic plan? If it doesn't, we shouldn't be doing it at all. The operational business plans that go with that. And so you'll get those on the way out. I'll just close maybe by saying a couple things. And again, I talk about it all the time. 4 years ago, I like to think we were going to be friends, and I was hopeful that we were. And I think we've come a long ways together. I really believe we have, and I think there's a lot of really great things about this sport that are going on. And a lot of that's, just a real credit to what you're doing and what you do in the field every day. So thank you for what you do, for the passion in which you do it with. It's important work. Lots of folks, well, what is that association and what's it all about? 30,000 plus volunteers across the country supporting our sport. It's really incredible. I would say two more things. Just a reminder of our promise to celebrate the past, be mindful of the present, and ensure bowling's future into the future. Ensure bowling into the future. And the last thing I just would share with you, it truly has been an honor and a privilege to work with you in this position. We're here for you all day, every day. My staff's overworked at times. They're fun. They believe in it. But truly, for me personally, an honor and a privilege. And thank you for allowing me to work with you and work towards that better USBC we can all be proud of and a brighter future for the sport. Thank you. We'll see you this afternoon. Thank you.